This is more of a response to an email I just received that I got the hiccups that said brain damage is real and you can't cure it. Um, I disagree with that comment. I believe everything is curable. It's a what hiccup again, a wild concept to wrap your brain around. I realize most people will call me crazy for even making the suggestion. um, but why I believe what I believe in is because I watched my mother develop Alzheimer's. Um, and from my experience, um, there's a lot of abuse going on, and my mother's way of getting out of trouble, not getting shit from my dad, is she had a bad memory. Anytime that he gave her shit, she'd say, "Oh, I forgot. I can't remember. I got too much on my plate." She did that my entire life. She constantly was saying, I'm not, that she wasn't smart, that everybody else was so much smarter than her. She was a very brilliant person. God, these hiccups. I never get them. Pause to why that's happening. Anyways, as the abuse increased, then my mother developed the disease. And if you talk with anybody that is, in the medical profession with Alzheimer's, you'll know that the brain is definitely damaged beyond repair from the medical opinions. Now, I've done some research that has proven that everything is curable, and I can see, excuse me, exactly what would cure my mother, which means my father's attitude needs to change. He needs to change his view of life. He needs to um, know how to treat people better. He needs to be a nicer person. And then that would influence my mother not to have to use a disease to get away from fighting with my dad. Plus, there's a family dynamics going on. Basically, the cure for my mother's Alzheimer's would be changing the family dynamics of how everybody relates to each other. It's not so much the person with the illness that has to make the changes, it's a matter of everybody else in her world, her universe, that has to make the changes. We basically have to start listening to the person that's suffering. The person that has the Alzheimer's, she wants something. Nobody's given her anything that she wanted all of her life, which is respect. And, here's a woman that wanted to raise a family, be loving, be respectful, be responsible, be accountable, be happy, respect nature, respect humanity. Nobody in our family wanted to give her the time of day. But as soon as the family dynamics decided to, hey, maybe she's onto something, and maybe if we live the way she lives, then she'll be more excited to be around us. She'll remember a lot more. And how I can tell is anytime I have a conversation that my mother is really, really interested in, she can remember all of the past. She can have a lucid conversation about something that she's really passionate about. You talk about something that's upsetting, poof, she lost her mind and she can't remember a thing. So it's very selective. Even though the medical profession is saying it's out of her control, it's not. It's very much in her control. She has the ability to overcome this challenge if she wants to, but she can't figure out a way of solving a family dynamic. But if the family woke up, we can definitely influence her to develop a healthier chemistry that would get rid of Alzheimer's. But you can't get any a better example than that. It is a brain damage that we're saying is incurable, but it's very much curable. I also um, talked with somebody who had brain damage, and um, like all of us are sort of in love with our illnesses and we don't want to cure them because it's providing us what we want, so, and basically that's what the medical professional is all about: give you a pill so you can still do everything that you want to do even though it destroys your health. But anyways, with this guy that has uh, brain damage, really really depressed guy, the worst life experience a human can have. I mean, when it brings you to the point where you want to die, it doesn't matter what you're thinking about, doesn't matter how much pain. That is so much pain, you want to end your life. So this guy was in so much pain that he ended up trying to kill himself with, I believe it was in a car, using the fumes in a garage. So he got poisoned with exhaust, and is now has brain damage, and medically, you know, he can function, but he's on a permanent disability and has short term. I think it's short term memory loss. But anyways, his memory is no good. But when I have a conversation with him, all of a sudden his memory is perfect. And, so what were we talking about? We were talking about everything he enjoys. As long as the guy was enjoying the conversation, he remembers it. And if I have a conversation with him a month later, he still remembers word for word what that conversation was. And he would say, well, I got to write people's names down and phone numbers down and directions down because I tend to forget those things. And it's like, I forget those things too. They're just things I choose not to remember. But this guy's brain damage right now, he's stuck on happy. When I was introduced to this guy, he was introduced to his life story was introduced to me. It was like, here's a guy that was so depressed, tried to kill himself, got brain damage, and now his brain is stuck on happy. Everything about this guy is stuck on happy. He can't even comprehend a problem. He refuses to have a problem. He's like, I got brain damage. I can't deal with those problems. Everything is about happy with him now, which ironically, that's what he wanted to create for himself. He was so depressed that, tried to kill himself, and then the brain rewired itself to be stuck on happy and only see things that are happy to this guy. And when I made the suggestion that you don't really have a memory problem, it's all in your head, and pointed out that, look, at you just passed this memory test. You can have a long term, you can have a conversation that you remember perfectly in your short term and long term memory. I mean, we've tested your memory out. It works perfectly as long as you're interested in something. So, do you really want this short term memory problem? And that's when he lost interest in the conversation. He really wanted to have this brain damage experience because it was keeping him locked into happy. And that's where he prefers to have his life really, really simple. So, an illness to some people, like autism, a lot of people think that that's an illness, but no, that's sort of our evolution. Illness is the path to all of the actions and beliefs that we have. And that's where I'm finding is a lot of people don't want to fix problems. A lot of people don't want to cure exactly what they suffer from. Why? Because it means you have to change your behaviors. You have to change your lifestyle. And we are not ready to change our lifestyle. I seen this again with somebody that it was a young kid that had diabetes, and he is really, really stuck on his diabetes. And I pointed out to him how he doesn't really have it. But then, he got really scared and really pissed off when I made the suggestion he doesn't have diabetes, because if he didn't have diabetes, he'd be dead. Because the only way that he knows how to survive his hellish experience would be by doing everything that would be harmful to him. And his diabetes makes sure that he can't do anything really destructive to himself. So the suggestion of, hey, you don't really have diabetes, you can just, have control over your life. This guy was like, no, I have no control over my life. The diabetes is controlling my life. The diabetes is making me face life all the time to make decisions that don't end up killing myself. So there's no way he was going to get rid of his diabetes because of that. So, to conclude, every illness is curable. Um, it doesn't matter whether it's brain damage, it doesn't matter if it's Alzheimer's, doesn't matter if you're crippled. Um, it's all about your choices in life. It's all about you need to have a certain experience to. Why I got hiccups to make this tape, I don't know, but I'm sure it looks pretty funny. Um, but to conclude, this is where humanity's go. This is our new healthcare system. This is get rid of the pills, the painkillers, and start making better choices. Start getting more control over your life. Start standing up to people you don't have the courage to stand up to. Don't have to do it violently, do it intelligently, but this is your life. You have one life, and make it the best. What kind of illnesses do you want to suffer from? For me, yeah, I got arm problems and back problems, and what does that mean? I am perfectly healthy when I'm doing everything that I want to do. When something's not right for me, then the arms flare up, the back flares up, everything that is not right will flare up. But if I'm doing everything right, I have no physical problems. Can't go out and work for a big CEO that's doing destruction to the planet. Why? Because I'll probably end up telling them what they're doing wrong. I'll probably get fired for it. So it's like psychosomatically, my illnesses are preventing me from working for corporations that I tend to disagree with. So I'm kind of not about to get rid of the psychosomatic aspects of the illnesses that I suffer from. Legally, we probably can't say it's cured because it's always going to be there. As long as I'm following the wrong path, I'm going to suffer for it. But at the same time, I am completely cured. I have no pain. I have no disability that prevents me from doing what I want. I have a disability that prevents me from doing what you want me to do. So I'm keeping it. Peace out.